Malaysian French. It's a real pleasure to have this little webinar, little event, which is another symbol of the close cooperation that the Malaysian French Chamber of Commerce and Industry has with the French ecosystem, whether it is in Malaysia. In this case, we are happy to partner today with the Department of Academic Cooperation of the French Embassy, represented by Mr. Sylvain Letailleur here, and also with a representative in France of IMT Mines from Albi. A few months ago, we welcomed Mr. Alexis Carrière in Kuala Lumpur, and we exchanged about their activities and the potential they could be to involve and to profit, to benefit to the French companies established in Malaysia. Just as a quick reminder, the French presence in Malaysia, it's about 3,000 people, and is also about 500 French legal entities established in Malaysia, 2/3 being subsidiaries of companies from France, and 1/3, about 150 are actually French entrepreneurs. All these companies are mostly employing Malaysians. The French presence, the French footprint in Malaysia in terms of economic contribution, it involves employing about 30,000 people in the French companies, including, I would say from this figure of 30,000, we can say that about 98% are actually Malaysian people. There is very few foreign workers involved in French companies in Malaysia, and the number of French expatriates is quite limited because you have a good Malaysian workforce. And one population which is very much appreciated is the Malaysians who have been studying in France, who have got a little touch about the life in France, about the know-how, the French know-how, the French way of doing business. And this is very, very important for our French companies here. And that's why the Malaysian French Chamber has always put as a priority the relation, the networking, the close relation with the Malaysian alumni. That means the Malaysians who came back from France with a diploma, on either now employed or looking for jobs, and also the Malaysian students in France. But I will stop here because Mr. Sylvain Letailleur will take over this topic and tell us a bit more about the Malaysian student and alumni. I've enjoyed your session, and do not hesitate to contact us after that, all the participants, for further assistance. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Michel. Thank you very much for this introduction. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Sylvain Letailleur. I'm the representative of Campus France here in Malaysia, as well as the person in charge of academic cooperation at the Embassy of France to Malaysia. Thank you very much to Michel, Tina, Elizabeth, and the whole team from CCIFM for organizing this event. We're always happy to collaborate on career fairs, alumni days, alumni cocktail, and this type of presentation. And thank you very much to the representative of the IMT Mines Albi, Mr. Lours, Mr. Carrière, that we have welcomed here at the Embassy of France a couple of weeks ago to discuss about your ongoing collaboration. And we're more than pleased to be able to speak today about the alumni network and the studies in France in terms of engineering. For a brief reminder, Campus France is the national agency dedicated to the promotion of the French higher education abroad and is present in 126 countries. Now, here in Malaysia, the Campus France Malaysia office is part of the Cultural and Cooperation Department at the Embassy of France. And it is, well, we are responsible for providing the interface for bilateral cooperation in higher education and research between Malaysia and France, managing student mobilities, of which we will talk about today, and supporting these students through grants and scholarships. So more specifically, we're dedicated to providing links between French and Malaysian institutions, the development of the dynamic alumni network, and the links between these alumni and the network of 300 French working companies here in Malaysia. In terms of higher education, France is identified as one of the foremost valued destinations for outgoing Malaysian students in the engineering field, alongside Japan, Korea, and Germany in Europe. Actually, we have 700 Malaysian students in France, including 200 new students every year. And around 70% of these students are actually studying in engineering field from the first year of their DUT, now BUT, until the very end of their master's or their PhD in engineering. And this success is not a surprise, it is closely linked to the success of the preference program, which is managed by Campus France. So Malaysian students benefit from a specific preparation in Malaysia at the MFI, the Malaysian French Institute of the University UniKL, after their high school diploma, and they are fully funded by the Malaysian government to complete their 5 years of engineering studies in France, starting in a network of selected IUT, and following in engineering schools such as the IMT Mines Albi. The program has been running for more than 20 years with a success rate of around 97% student between the intake and the outtake at the end of their studies in France, meaning that more than 20 generations of Malaysian students have been formed in engineering studies in France, and companies such as Petronas and Telecom have been associated to the program alongside the years. Now, the preference program that we are talking about has been one of the pillars of the bilateral cooperation between France and Malaysia, and the alumni from this program, which are, I guess, our source of interest today, are the very actors that keep this collaboration alive, as their will to develop new partnerships through professional or academic career proves the long-term attachment to France and to their studies in France. And the Embassy of France in Malaysia and Campus France Malaysia are dedicated to provide the best support for these alumni through the founding of scientific stay, PhD programs, and staff mobilities in the different cutting-edge fields of research in France. And by following their success of their professional career through tools like the France Alumni Malaysia platform. We have actually identified 1,100 Malaysian alumni who have been studying and graduating in France. And actually, through our research, we found out that more than 400 of these have been studying in engineering things field alone, which makes about 60% of 40% of our alumni. And a significant amount of these are registered on the France Alumni platform, which is actually an open database to which you can have access to inquire and to access this network of contacts in the different companies in Malaysia, in France, and abroad. And to be very brief and conclude on this brief word of introduction, one of the main events that we will be organizing during autumn 2023 will be the Convention on Higher Education, Research and Innovation between France and Malaysia. So we will be inviting the representative of the MOHI, the Ministry of Higher Education in Malaysia, of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Higher Education Studies in France, as well as different institutions and companies, for 3 days of networking, workshops, discussion panels, and we are looking forward to build a stronger alumni network and better links between Malaysian institutions, French companies in Malaysia, alumni, and higher education institutions during these 3 days. So that will be at the beginning of October 2023, and we're looking forward to welcome all of you to participate in the different discussion panels and workshops. I think that's all on my side. Thank you so much again for the invitation, and maybe I will leave the floor to Mr. Lours and Mr. Carrière.
Yes, thank you. Maybe we'll share our screen. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much to all of you for being connected today. I would like to express my warm thank you as well to Michel Lozach, because it was important for us to be able to gather today some of our partners in Malaysia and most importantly companies. So thank you, Michel, for contributing to this webinar and the organization. I would like also to thank Tina for the perfect organization today. Thank you so much, Tina. And Sylvain, because we know that Campus France is a very important operator in promoting study abroad, a French university and higher education institutions. Thank you very much for being here and ease all the the activities we try to develop in Malaysia specifically. So as a matter of fact, we started the collaboration with Malaysian University about 10 years ago now, but since maybe 2020-21, we accelerate the collaboration because we had an Erasmus program that also helped a lot in making the networking with our partner in Malaysia. So it's really a pleasure to be here today to share our strategy for internationalization of our campus through our collaboration with Malaysian University. It's in the DNA of IMT Mines Albi to promote international exposure of our students, of course, but also our staff. Throughout our history, started in 1993, not so much, not so long time ago. We have been pioneers in offering option for our students to for improving their intercultural experience in order to boost their CV and enrich their experience. To date, our partner are mostly universities. Even so, we are also develop a network of industrial partners through the internship of our students mainly. Our objective today is to embark companies in our project. And this was particularly true with Malaysian university partners that were demanding on this subject. They are very interested by the experience we give to our students in France for internship. For example, the long internship we propose to our students for getting their diploma. So this is something very interesting for international partners, specifically in Malaysia. So we were asked to think about developing partnership with company to have this company join in our program. I will maybe give some words about IMT as a group. So IMT is a group of 10 schools which are under the authority of the French Ministry of Industry. So this is also our DNA to have activities in strong connection with industry, both in education, teaching, and in research. So you can see here the different school in France, all over the country, you can see. So we are in the southwest of France, near Toulouse. Alexis will give more detail about our school later. So we are part of a group, and this group about 10 years ago now define or identify about 10 target country in the world. And among these target country, Malaysia was one of the most important for us, and we develop a lot of collaboration with Malaysian University. So as a group, you can see IMT have about 14,000 students altogether, about 2,000 research publication per year, 48 industrial shares, and we have about 80 million euro of research contract each year. And we also get about 60 million euro of revenue due to higher education through tuition fees, apprenticeship, and so on. The major topics on which we work, both in research and higher education, are given here. Sustainable future industry, where we include topics such as material science, mechanical engineering. We have also a strong activity on digital sovereignty and sobriety, energy, circular economy and society, and health engineering and well-being. So basically, depending on the school, among the 10 schools I have talk about before, you will find one or more of these topics. Basically, in Albi, we work on the 4 topics with our 3 research laboratory and with our different major we propose to our students for the specialization. Then we will move to the presentation of more specifically our campus in Albi. So I give the floor to Alexis for doing that.
Yeah, thank you, Philippe. So I would like to speak about our school now that Philippe has spoken about the IMT group. I will detail a little bit more about our school. Well, first of all, you can see in the name of our school, the name is Mine, which means mining in French. And it's quite paradoxical because actually we used to have a mining industry in Albi, but our school was created just at the same time of the closure of the mining industry in Albi. And our idea, well, the Ministry of Industry idea was to really focus on the new key areas of the economy at that time. So there were not the mining industry anymore in France, but there were other industries that I'm going to detail you right now. So first of all, our campus is located in a small city. Albi is nothing compared to Kuala Lumpur, for example. We just have 100,000 inhabitants. So this is a very small city. And actually, it's something really beneficial for our students. Because even if the city is small, we have a lot of students in this city, 6,000 in all the city. And they can have a lot of activity. They have a very quiet and secure environment. And moreover, if we compare to other big cities, the fact of finding an accommodation might be really struggling for international students arriving to France for the first time. And here we have a very strong benefit in IMT Mines Albi, is that we provide one accommodation, one room for each student, especially for the newcomers. We have several accommodations, several students' residences on the campus and in the city. So every newcomer to IMT Mines Albi will be provided an accommodation, and that's something very important. Moreover, they will have, we are located just outside of the city center. So we have 22 hectares of a campus that is really designed for students. They have their accommodation, their classroom in the same campus, but they can also have their sport activities. We have a university restaurant and cafeteria, and even a student house for housing for association. So basically, it's kind of a small city inside the city. So we have several options for studies. The most famous diploma, the main diploma we give is the General Engineering program. This program is taught in French, and this is where we receive most of our Malaysian students right now. So that means that they study in French. But we also have international masters and specialized masters that are taught in English or in French, but most of them are taught in English, and PhD studies, of course. We also have a very original program, which is pharmacist engineer degree, which is a dual program between pharmacist and engineering program, which is taught in French. And you can see that we are a small school, a little bit less than 1,000 students. Many of these students, almost 40%, are women, which is in engineering studies in France is kind of extraordinary. Usually this number is lower. And we have 16 international students. We are also developing a lot the apprenticeship. So our students can work and study at the same time. And Philippe will speak about that a little bit later. So now I'm not going to go too deep into detail, but I will speak about the different options we have. So Philippe has detailed the options that are given in the Institut Mines Telecom. Here in Albi, we have several of these options. The first one is renewable energies, sustainable production, and construction. So you can see here the keywords that define this option for the general engineering diploma. These are energy, urban area, industry, distribution, production, and I'm pretty sure that it can interest many of your companies in Malaysia. Another option is the advanced materials and processes for the transport of tomorrow. So you might know that we are kind of close to Toulouse in France, in the southwest of France. And the main industry in the Toulouse area is the aeronautical industry. So at the beginning, we worked a lot with the aeronautical industry, and now we are working also with the automotive industry to prepare very special materials in order to optimize the transportation systems. Another option, and that is less known, is the pharmaceutical, food and cosmetic processes. Pharmaceutical industry is really present in the southwest of France, especially a very big company which is called Pierre Fabre, is located just 40 minutes away from Albi. So that's why when the school was created, a strong focus was dedicated to pharmaceutical processes. And since pharmaceutical and food and cosmetic industry are really similar, we work in these three areas. Now, another option that is really interesting too, and that can be applied in almost any companies, is the industrial engineering processes and information system. As long as we have an industry or a company, we all need to improve our processes to have a good optimization of the flux. So this option is really linked to industrial engineering processes and information system, and it can be applied in most of the companies. And now, so these were the main focus for the general degree, engineering degree that is taught mainly in French. But we also have, as I told you, some degrees, some master degrees in English. The first one is MILES, for Management of International Lean and Supply Chain Project, which is taught totally in English. We also have two masters that are dedicated to the transportation, the materials for transportation of tomorrow, transport system of tomorrow. It's AMPAS for Advanced Manufacturing for Aeronautical Structure, and Aeromat for Aerospace Material Design, Manufacturing and Innovation Management. And finally, we have another master degree, which is more oriented to the pharmaceutical engineering, since as its name indicates it, ADPharming means Advanced Pharmaceutical Engineering. And now I leave the floor to Philippe to detail you about our current international partners.
Yeah, thank you, Alexis. So regarding our main or core task of teaching and research, we have made an attempt to approach objectively the intensity of our partnership by defining some comprehensive criteria relative to the exchange of students. So either through or either involved in credit transfer mobility, double degree, and also research internship in our laboratories, and also joint research activities such as a PhD course supervision, international course or publication, and official study, official faculty invitation. As shown in the plot, these criteria transform into quantified performance indicator, result in a possible ranking of university, of course, but countries as well. According to the, I would say, the strength of the partnership activities conducted together with IMT Mines Albi. This represents a very powerful tool to steer our international policy. The geographical origin of our partner is perfectly illustrated here in this mapping of the cumulative partnership intensity by country for the last 3 years or 4 years here. Showing finally the strong relationship maintained with North American and Western Europe countries with high added value in terms of science and technology, but as well with French-speaking Africa, as you can see, and a large part of Asia and South America as well. We have put here the logo of our some of our major partners. As you can see, Georgia Tech in the US, with which we develop a very ambitious project at this time. Polytechnique Montréal in Canada. L'Université de Lomé, the University of Lomé in Togo. The Civil Aviation University of China in Tianjin, where Airbus has a final assembly line as well. Specifically in Malaysia, on the next slide, we have some partnership with UTMs, to the GE4 network mainly. UTP, University Technology Petronas in Ipoh, with which we have a long-term collaboration, both in research and education and higher education, and with which we are now completing this, next month an Erasmus Plus program. The project with UTP is to go to a double degree agreement, which is in progress at this time. And more recently with UNIC-AL in Kuala Lumpur, with which we are developing project for hosting their students through two different way. The first way was mentioned by Sylvain previously, the well-known pre-France year in Malaysia, plus 2 years in IUT in France, prior to integrate the engineering school, among which since last year, IMT Mines Albi. So this program is sponsored by Mara and GPA and is operated by Campus France. And the second is the ex nihilo creation of an offshore preparatory class based on the know-how of UNIC-AL in preparing students for mobility to France, and also their know-how for training students at the bachelor level in mechanical engineering. So we are now talking about this new project with our partner in UNIC-AL. So basically, these are the collaboration we have with university in Malaysia. And as I said previously, we were asked by those partners to think about a way to associate companies, or either French company with interest in Malaysia, or Malaysian company interested by the French experience of their engineer, to build strong programs for training more and more Malaysian students in our engineering school. So we have listed here the way we could collaborate together. So basically, we can think about internship of our student, our Malaysian student in your company. We can also think about two other options, which are very interesting to my opinion. The first one is a professional training contract, and the second one is the apprenticeship, which are basically the same thing. Where the student spends some time at the school for his academic training, and some time in a company. The difference between the two options is that the sequence of the stay in the company and the stay at school is different. For the professional training contract that we have recently developed in our school, the time the students spend in our school is basically the same as for all students, and the time the student spend in the company is basically the same as for all other students. But the difference is that the company will support the student during all the curriculum. That is, the 2 internship or the 3 internship, depending on the length of the study, will be in the same company, which will have a contract with the student. So this is very interesting to our point of view for international collaboration, because the period in the company is quite long, so that we can work with companies that are not based in France, and the period can be spent by the student abroad, in our case in Malaysia. So this would be a very interesting option, I think, for international collaboration. And the fourth option can be also, because we do a lot with French company to work with a group of students on a subject during the academic semester, dedicated to an industrial activity. So these are the four main ways we could think about for cooperating with companies. So the idea today is to open the discussion for these possibilities, and to see how to discuss further the way we can collaborate with companies in our program with Malaysia. Thank you very much. These are our team in Albi. So we have this contact in our Department of International Affairs in IMT Mines Albi. So thank you very much for listening for this presentation, and the objective is to discuss with you the possibility of collaboration. And I think maybe, Sylvain, the 3-day convention you mentioned before would be a very nice opportunities as well to further discuss any possible collaboration with
Absolutely.
our.
So during this event of 3 days, 18, 19, and 20 of October, we would like to invite a representative of French institutions, French companies as well, French researchers, and their equivalent on the Malaysian side. So Malaysian companies, employers, alumni, and representative of the different institutions, private and public universities. So for sure, the event will be dedicating to networking, signing of agreements. Maybe we will arrange a planned interview between the different institutions to make sure that they have their moment of discussion about their collaboration.
Mm.
And maybe I would like to add that we are currently having a lot of Malaysian students. And speaking about the internships that Philippe previously presented, this is probably the easiest way to initiate collaboration. So they are currently in their first year in IMT Mines Albi, so they already had a first internship of 1 month, but for the next year they will be looking for a 4-month internship, 4 months at least, and they can be interested to come back to Malaysia to apply the knowledge they had, or to stay in France in the French branch of your company.
Yeah, I think, Alexis, for those students you mentioned, the internship is mandatory to be performed in France, but this can be in a French company or any international company having some interest in Malaysia. But for the future, I think for the internship, but Sylvain will confirm this. The internship should be done in France, because this is the interest of Malaysian university to have their student trained fully in France, both for the academic part, but also for the industrial part. Is it true, Sylvain?
Now, we've had different views and different feedback on this. So it really depends on the program they are currently enrolled into, in their type of scholarship, etc., etc. So it will depend on every situation. So I can't give a definitive answer on this right now.
Okay. I think Laurence is connected. Maybe I don't know whether you can. Laurence, can you hear us? No. Okay, so yeah, I think that something that can be very interesting, because we opened this for international students. I think last year, it's very recent, the option of apprenticeship, or what we call professional contract, which is about the same. This is just the the sequence of alternating the period in companies and at the school with change. But I think this would be a very nice option for company wanting to contribute and to participate to the training of students that they can hire afterwards. So maybe I don't know, Tina. Maybe I think we can open the discussion to the attendees. If you have any question, please feel free to ask them.
Meanwhile, I can add that from a pedagogical point of view, these students that are currently in France, they are perfectly French speakers, well, English speakers, of course, because they are Malaysian. So they are perfectly adaptable to the French environment of working. They've already spent 2 years, at least. Actually, it's their third France, where they were taught in French, and their level of French is really impressive, and they are very good students since they already had a degree in the IUT, specialized schools of technology, and they could integrate our School of Engineering.
Thank you very much, Philippe, Alexis. I think that was a very informational topic on all the collaboration that IMT Mines is doing in order to facilitate placements of trainings and students with companies. One last call, we just are wondering if there's any other questions that the participant may have. You can use the chat box to ask your question or the Q&A box to ask your question. And if there isn't any question, I think we're coming to the end of the webinar. What will happen is the chamber will send out an email with the recording of the webinar, so you can share it with your human resource team. At the same time, we will also share the contact of Philippe and Alexis from IMT Mines. This way you can get in touch with them directly if you have any questions or if you have any needs. And in between, of course, you can also get in touch with the chamber, and we would also be happy to connect you with them. So with this, we hope you will have better human resource solution for your organization. And Alexis, Philippe, Sylvain, do you have anything else to add before we end?
On my side, I would again thank you for the organization, and probably we will continue to work out our collaboration with our partners in Malaysia, and we will be happy to participate to the 3-day convention mentioned by Sylvain next October. Probably this will be a time for networking with people from companies in Malaysia. I hope this will be possible to do that. So thank you very much, and probably we will be there in October.
Thank you very much, Philippe, Alexis. Well, we always have something to add here. There's always so much to say, but for sure, for the next session, maybe it could be interesting to invite an alumni from the IMT Mines Albi to share his experience, share how in his studies in France, he found the tools for a successful professional career, the type of, let's say, specifically French tools and skills and things. So yeah, that will be something that we could provide for next session. And of course, feel free to reach out to the embassy, to Campus France, to you all have the email addresses. If you do not, I'm sure Alexis, Tina, Michel will be able to redirect you. We have a very strong and dynamic collaboration. We're always looking forward to new partnerships and to welcoming new French companies in the network for sure. So thank you very much, everybody, and thank
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and thank you to all the participants again. And we have come to the end of the program, but the end of the webinar, but definitely not to the end of the program. And we will share all the contact details to Philippe, Alexis, and Sylvain in an email. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.